We're back. One little piece of linkage right there.
I didn't get it. I'm sorry.
Sent me over the edge. This little tiny piece of linkage took me over the edge. Now, in a perfect world, this comes off. Oh, yay. Okay, now, that's not as horrible as I thought it was going to be. Let's take a good look at the accelerator pump here.
Thank you.
Oh, you're downwind?
Yes.
Sorry. Let's see how bad the accelerator pump is. Hard as a rock. That is not going to be reusable. And the gasket is not going to come off. It already tore, so I'm just going to have to hope for the best. Ah, wonderful. Whoop. There goes the choke linkage. Let's get this out of here. This is the piece that holds the float in. If I can get the gasket out of the way here. I was really hoping to save this gasket, but that's not going to happen now. Where I'm going to find a gasket, I do not know. Oh my, oh my. Now, these are called floats. They rest in the bottom of the bowl, and as the fuel level comes up, via this needle valve, when the float level comes up, this needle shoves up into the seat and shuts off the fuel. As it drops down, it needs fuel. The needle valve goes down and allows more fuel. Now, that's the theory, that's the working plan. But I have brass floats that are basically soldered together, and what happens with these is the solder, the joints, you can see right here, the joints get weak, and they, don't drop the pin, and they begin to take on fuel. And this thing weighs now about 57.2 pounds because both balls, floats are full of fuel. You can hear it sloshing around in there. So this is worthless, okay? Why are you looking distressed?
You move so quickly. It's hard for
too
me
quickly.
to get everything in there.
I move too quickly, okay. I want you all to get your eyeballs down in here. This is, I'll check the specs on this carburetor, but I don't think that's supposed to be in there. So short of killing the grass over here, I'm gonna spray this over this real quick. See if we can find a bowl. Yeah, this is fine. This is fine. It is a Carter Model AS. Just in case any of you were wondering. Okay, now that we have made an absolute disaster of this carburetor, I think we will all agree, at least I agree, that this is not going to be a viable carburetor. Which really puts a wrench in my plans for the start up and run to see if everything internally is good. So this is unfortunate. So now, in addition to not being able to find a kit, I have to now search for, I don't know, 2-3 years. Have to cross the equator and run across the border to Alaska and go where Admiral Byrd went to try to find a carburetor for a 63 Rambler 770. But I hope at least to some degree the frustration of taking this thing apart was in some way educational. At least now we know that to get the accelerator pump out of a Carter Type A, you have to push the accelerator pump all the way down, which would have been up here, to expose another clip that you cannot see with the accelerator pump in a normal position. And you had to take that linkage rod out, and then it came out like a loose cork. The good news is, even though the carburetor is a paperweight, a small boat anchor, something for Ernest T. Bass to throw through a piece of glass, the throttle is now free. Isn't that marvelous? So today's video is brought to you by nothing, just junk. Surprise, surprise, I have junk. Let me walk you down to the car and I'll show you what I'm talking about before we close this video. If you declare to follow me down to the car. This was going to be the bald-headed tire that I put on the rim. Unfortunately, it has something sticking out of it, so it was, and it's full of water. The rim I was going to use, you need to come closer. The rim I was going to use to mount that tire with the screwdriver blade sticking out of it is, it's fine. It's just the rats have, you know, peed on it and while it was in the trunk, and it's no longer viable. As we told you last week, this wheel has a hole in the wheel where air is leaking out. This one is my only hope, and it is at best, get a real good close-up of that. It is at best sketchy. So I don't even know if I can get the tire shop down the road here. If I was working in the tire shop, I wouldn't do it, but if I can get them to break this off the wheel, even if they won't mount a tire on it because of said sketchiness, I can at least try to find a tire and put it on myself. Now I can just spoon it on and hit it with starter fluid and create a, it's science.
It's not the safe way.
It just blows, it's science. You just have to trust me, it's science. I thought about going this route, but I have no way to spin the tire. So that's not going to happen. So, update, starting Sunday, we will be on vacation. We're going to take the camper up to Wilkesboro, and we're going to do some popping around to antique stores and thrift stores for my wife's side of this YouTube channel. So we'll be bringing you some content from that trip. Hopefully no real excitement to bring you from that trip. I don't really want to be changing tires on the interstate just so y'all have content, but we're going to take said camper, the big worm up there. We're going to take it to Wilkesboro to the campgrounds. And we'll be putting out videos while we're on vacation. And if we find, who knows, it could happen. We could drive through Boone and there could be a Rambler sitting there somewhere. There may be a junkyard up there that we'll go through. I don't know. But I appreciate y'all watching. It means more to me than you know. And I can probably name the first names of all my subscribers. They're probably friends and family, I'm sure. But some of you that may watch this that aren't friends and family, the more subscribers I have, the more content I can put out, the more views I have, the more YouTube supports my channel. I don't have any aspirations, bug just flew in my ear, of this ever becoming anything. My wife is, there's my head gasket. My wife has higher expectations than I do. She bought me a sign. Isn't that lovely? So what we're going to do probably when we get back from vacation is work on getting the head on and torque down, getting the water pump on, getting on the thing and trying to find a carburetor. If you're watching and you happen to have one laying around, put it down in the comments there. Or is there a way they can contact us through Instagram? You know more about that than I do. I'm computer illiterate.
Well, even if they comment, then I can figure this out. I'm new at this, so I'm still figuring.
All right, we're amateurs.
But they can actually comment, and then I can get up with them.
All right, we're going to eventually try to figure out how to get an Instagram account
I don't know
that
how
you
to
can
do that, but-
communicate with us, or a Facebook account, or some kind of account. I don't know what a social
I get a message.
social
messenger.
thing, you know, media and sociality and all that stuff. So for now, God bless. The only way to heaven is through Jesus Christ the Son. Bye-bye.